welcome back. We're here today to give you another family update for the Sagepoint residents. We're here with Andrea Dwyer, our CEO and president, and we have a lot of good news to share today. So first and foremost, we've gotten some exciting news this week. And we're recognized by Newsweek as one of the best nursing homes in Maryland. In fact, we were number 2. And that's pretty exciting because this takes into account time during which management during the COVID pandemic happened. So we're really excited about that. And we are thankful that we have a great staff that did it.
We are so blessed to have the staff that we have with this recognition from Newsweek. And it really is the staff that does the yeoman's work every single day. And they are the ones that keep us with the Maryland Healthcare Commission Family Satisfaction Survey in the 90 percentile. So it is really all about our staff.
And this is the second year in a row we've been recognized by Newsweek.
This is the second year in a row.
Good news, good news. What's happening now? We announced before we were doing outdoor visits.
Yes.
How is it going?
Outdoor visits are going extremely well. As everybody knows who's watched our videos, we were huge advocates for getting residents out of quarantine, and once that period had passed, letting them get out of their rooms, letting them get outside, letting them get some fresh air, and being able to bring the families into that and allow them to see their loved ones has just been a wonderful experience for our families, for our residents, for our staff. So it has been going very, very well. And of course, we continue with the virtual visits for those family members that may not be able to come on site.
And so we initially started it out with the assisted living, and then we've now recently been able to add on to have it at the skilled nursing facility.
Yes. The skilled nursing facility had a different set of standards from the Maryland Department of Health that had to do with phasing, and it wasn't just dependent on the facility itself. It also had to do with county and state statistics, and it phased through very specific steps, so it did take a little longer. But we were able to achieve that outdoor visit opportunity.
It's kind of brightened up the spirit of the residents in there because they get
it starts to feel like we have some normality again. So it's been really nice.
Right. The governor had a press conference last week, and we got some news about wanting to move to indoor visitation, or to be able to have people come into inside the nursing home. So can you talk a little bit about what that means?
Sure. So we had received some guidance from CMS late to the latter part of mid-September, and the Maryland Department of Health had asked us to hold on that. That guidance was based on information from a study commissioned to look at how nursing home residents were faring during the pandemic. So the goal was really to get families back into the facility, which we're very excited about. However, what we didn't expect was for the governor's announcement to come out before we had received any guidance. So that did make it a bit of a sticky wicket, and it has caused us to hold for an extra minute. We want to do this very safely, and the guidance actually right now begs a few more questions than they've been able to answer for us at this time. So once we're able to get those answers, we'll be able to proceed in a very safe and effective manner. I think one of the biggest challenges with some of that guidance is really this idea of testing. As everybody knows, we've tested residents, in fact, one in the first to the state to do it voluntarily and universally was Sagepoint. We believe the first in the state to do so voluntarily. We've also tested the first based on governor's orders. We were one of the first counties to execute on the testing of all residents and staff universally, and that continues. I think most people have heard about the point-of-care test system that has been sent out by the federal government for nursing homes. However, effective Thursday, when we received the additional guidance from the Department of Health under Larry Hogan, Governor Hogan, it did cause us some significant pause and really a need to take a step back.
So in other words, the point-of-care testing is the rapid test.
The point-of-care testing is the rapid test, which the nursing home industry has advocated for a long time, is rapid testing, because not only is it important to do the testing, but if you have to wait 6-7 days to find out somebody's result, that can cause a delay in the options of how we actually maintain that patient, whether it's under isolation, that resident under cohorting, all of those things. So the testing and the rapidness of it. One of the biggest problems, though, with this rapid test system, per the Maryland Department of Health guidance, is the idea of how effective is it. While it has a very high efficacy rate, it has a very high efficacy rate in a very specific window of time. And that is causing us some significant pause and wanting to really get more information on that. In fact, I would like to read the exact statement. This is from the Maryland Department of Health, and it says, the antigen test, which is what the point of care or rapid tests are called, not to be confused with antibody tests. They're very different. But the rapid point of care system are best when used with high viral shedding, probably within the first 5 days after symptom onset. So we have really significant concern with using this for surveillance testing, which is where you're really looking for asymptomatic and pre-symptomatic individuals. To now rely on a system that doesn't tell you until somebody has had symptoms 5 days after their symptoms have started is not going to be a good system for nursing homes to adopt.
And they're still saying even if you get a positive with the point of care testing, that you still have to follow up with a
You still have to do
regular
the
PCR
additional
test.
PCR testing. So it's creating even more of a delay in really having confidence, real confidence in those test results. And so, again, we acknowledge the government's trying to do something here and trying to help us. But we think defaulting to this particular, the rapid test systems, given this guidance, is a mistake. And just something we need to investigate more before we make any final determinations.
But the goal is we want to do it as quickly as we can and safely as we can, so that we're able to get the patients or get the residents' families in to see them.
Absolutely.
And keep them safe.
Right, absolutely. We want to keep our residents safe. We want to keep our staff safe. We want to keep our community safe. And so understanding how these protocols are going to play out, how all of these things are going to work in a closed environment where we now all know closed environments create the biggest opportunity for spread. So it's all very important to us that we do this in the best way possible.
And we have flu season coming upon us now. That complicates matters a little more.
It does. It does. I think that there's going to be a lot of conversation around flu and COVID. I think it's more than just the concern of does one overlap another and maybe disguise symptoms. I think that the concern is going to extend to what is the efficacy of how medications work in these things. As we know, we're coming out with new therapies for COVID up against the flu. So it is, everybody is tracking the science as closely as we can right now and as fast as it can be produced.
And just like throughout the whole pandemic, that information is just coming fast and furious, so it takes a little time to make sure that you have all the correct information first.
Yes, like any guidance. It speaks to what it can, but there are always scenarios in there that you have to fetter out and make sure everybody understands appropriately.
Sure. Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.